This is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
And good morning up to Thursday, January 25th. Bit of a chill in the air out there.
It was a little colder this morning, but I'll tell you what, yesterday was so beautiful. The sun was shining, it was warmer out. Felt good about it.
It's the kind of morning, John, where you think, do you wear a jacket or not? I know it's 52 degrees, your maps say. It's kind of chilly, though, right now.
Yeah, for some folks, I think it is. I think it'll be a little bit of a sweater weather this morning. But I'll tell you what, from my point of view, if this is as cold as it gets in the winter, I am a happy camper. I'll tell you what. We're looking at temperatures that are generally hovering upper 40s, low 50s across the area. And there's a little bit of a breeze that does put kind of a bite in the air. So if you wear that sweater, I can bundle the kids up a little bit as they head out to the school bus stops. I think you'll be fine as we head into the afternoon because there will be plenty of sunshine around. And if you liked yesterday's afternoon temperatures, you're going to like today's as well. Temperatures across the region generally 54 degrees Longboat Key, 51 Lakewood Ranch, Mayaca City, Wauchula, Arcadia. Venice coming in at 53, Inglewood at 53. Day planner calls for temperatures to steadily rise as we head into dawn. By 12 o'clock, we're looking at 62 degrees, and by 3 p.m., a nice 70. Drive time forecast calls for mid-40s to low 50s. Sunny skies will prevail. On the drive home tonight, look for mostly sunny skies. Temperatures in the upper 60s, and none of the weather issues have been highlighted, so it looks like a perfect driving condition out there for commuters this morning. Back to you.
Thank you, John. Unusual build-up there in 301 as you leave Ellington and head toward Palmetto. Otherwise, the usual delay on 301 toward State Road 70. Farther south, you'll see some issues there on 41 northbound as you head toward Bee Ridge Road from Proctor. Also southbound 41 over the Stickney Point and Clark Roads area. And our final map shows us all clear at 5:02 on your Thursday morning. It's a story that made national news 10 years ago. An Orlando woman with a local connection disappeared.
Yesterday marked the 12th anniversary of the disappearance of Jennifer Kessie. The 24-year-old went missing on January the 24th, 2006, after leaving her Orlando condo and has not been seen or heard from since. Now, Drew Kessie, a Bradenton resident, says there may have been more than 4,500 leads so far. That reward has been increased to $15,000.
It's very difficult. 12 years, you know, people say things get a little easier with time, and I don't think we find that in this situation, mainly because of the frustration that goes along with it. And when you look back at what has happened over 12 years and where we are today, we're nowhere. Unfortunately, we're still the same as day 3 when they found her car.
And Drew Kessie, Jennifer's dad, and the rest of her family are in Orlando continuing their search for answers, saying the police have not done enough and that mistakes were made. They now want their own private investigator to take over the case and are planning to sue the Orlando Police Department for those case files.
New details about that deputy-involved fatal shooting Tuesday night in Manatee County. The sheriff says deputies responded to a domestic dispute between 38-year-old Corey Mobley and his wife at a gas station on Cortez. Before they got there, he took off. They found him on 6th Street West. The sheriff says Mobley repeatedly told deputies, "I've got a gun for you," refused to show his hands, and then reached into his pocket. That's when deputies fired 2 shots. Mobley got back up, repeated his statement about having a gun. They fired 2 more shots. You know, this witness confirms the police story.
He had told the cops that he had a gun for him. And then the cops had shot him twice, and he had got back up and walked towards the police officers, and they shot him 2 more times.
Now, it turned out Mobley did not have a gun. He later died at Sarasota Memorial Hospital.
And the Northport Police is asking for the help from the public after an attempted robbery at a community center. Now take a look at this video. Police are hoping that you will recognize the 2 cars and the 2 men that are in it. Detectives believe they may have information about an attempted robbery earlier this month at the Mullen Center on Kramer Way. Now if you know these men, if you have any information at all, please contact the Northport Police Department or Sarasota Crime Stoppers. The number is right there on your screen.
Meantime, over at City Hall, Northport's assistant city manager has been suspended for allegedly bullying co-workers. This man oversees the city's Human Resources Department, so the city hired an outside law firm to investigate the claims. Northport's mayor said she wasn't surprised at the accusation, saying she had heard complaints about him. She says she's glad employees felt safe enough to come forward.
The culture has shifted. I think that employees do understand that their commission definitely feels that they are worth something. they are worthy, that they deserve respect.
Well, we reached out to the assistant city manager for comment, but have not yet heard back. For more on this story and breaking news, plus your up-to-minute first alert forecast, go to our app. You can find it under WWSB or My Suncoast.
Well, happening later on this morning, a group of volunteers and community members are getting ready for a prayer breakfast to help take stock in children.
That's a good group. Our Marla Spence is live now from the Bradenton Area Convention Center with more. Marla?
Good morning, guys. That's right. People are inside the Bradenton Area Convention Center, and they are getting ready for this morning's event where more than 500 people will flood the Bradenton Area Convention Center for the Take the Stock in Children Prayer Breakfast. Now, this event is all to raise scholarship money for Manatee County students who are enrolled in the Take the Stock in Children program. Students in that program are between 6th to 8th grade, and after enrolling, they are guaranteed a scholarship to a Florida college and they're also provided a mentor and a college success coach. Now, some pretty impressive people are expected to be here as well for this year's event. They include Mrs. Sandra Buchanan and a keynote speaker who is acclaimed NCAA basketball coach Arthur Mike Jarvis. Now, this morning's event is all expected to start at 7:30 this morning. Reporting live in Bradenton, I'm Marla Spence for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
All right, thank you, Marla. Happening today, USF Sarasota Manatee is hosting a lecture with the director of the Chicago Cubs Mental Skills Program. Josh Lifrak will lead the talk as part of the school's Career Success Lecture Series. Now, he's helped players overcome mental obstacles and achieve their goals. The lecture is free and it is open to the public. It's at Sarasota's Selby Auditorium from noon until 1 o'clock today.
When the new Venice Public Library opens later on this year, it will feature an outdoor reading garden and fountain. City Council says the addition will be funded through a $100,000 contribution. The council decided on the feature over partial funding on solar roof panels. The new library on Nokomis Avenue should open by the end of the year. The city knocked down the previous library after they found it was full of mold.
Well, Anna Maria Island has a chance to be named America's happiest seaside town, and they need your help. Coastal Living magazine hasn't chosen which town exactly will hold its #1 spot yet. It's up to how many votes it gets in the next couple of weeks. Now, there are 9 other towns on that list, and the only other seaside town in Florida competing in this is Vero Beach. Now, to vote for Anna Maria, you can go to the magazine's website, coastalliving.com, and if you missed it, we'll have it for you on mysuncoast.com as well. Well, it seems like just yesterday, the Sarasota real estate market was in a world of hurt, but the median price for a home on the Suncoast was up another 7% in 2017.
So with real estate on the rise here, could a bubble burst again like some 10 years ago? We talked to the president of the biggest local real estate company.
I think we're in a healthy, strong market. So yes, I would say it's the best I've ever seen it.
Drayton Saunders is president of the region's largest real estate agency, Michael Saunders & Company. This is their new office in downtown Sarasota at the corner of Main and Orange. How's this office working out?
Oh, it's fabulous. It's our flagship in terms of kind of a new feel for an office.
Saunders has this and 23 other offices across the region, and he says they are staying busy. He says the cold weather up north only made things hotter in local real estate.
So this year with the cyclone bomb, a lot of great press about our region, we are starting off with a lot more activity than I have seen in our typical January. So I think that bodes well for the market.
Of the 7,000 agents in this region, 1 in 10, or about 700, work for Saunders. But the most successful agent in the area is not under his roof. Roger Pettengill of Coldwell Banker has led the region the past 6 years, selling over $100 million last year alone.
3-2.
But how long can this last?
Competitive advantage.
Earlier this month, a well-known economist warned of a recession coming. According to the Sarasota Herald Tribune, Hank Fishkind told a local business group that he's concerned that borrowing and the expansion could lead to higher interest rates. So could this lead to another real estate crash like the one we had 12 years ago?
Well, Ray, things are different than 2006.
Local attorney Dan Lobeck recalls that recession all too well. Though not a real estate professional, Lobeck runs a local group that keeps a close eye on growth in the area, and he thinks Fishkind is wrong.
The factors that caused the bust 10 years ago are not in place today. Banks have tightened up their lending practices, so you're not going to see all this wave of defaults. Flipping is not going crazy like it did in 2006. So It just doesn't seem to me that a housing bust is on the horizon.
I get that question about the bubble all the time, and it was interesting. I looked up the definition of a market bubble, just so I'd be accurate. And it really requires two things. It requires a massive run-up in value, and then a massive sell-off. And so you'd have to ask, have we had a massive run-up in value? And I don't think we really have. What we've had over the last 10 years is a recovery from the last bubble. And first it was recovering from prices that fell below what would have been statistically normal appreciation. And now we're, I think, in a very healthy appreciation cycle. And so no, I don't see us in a bubble.
So for now, Saunders hopes word of mouth continues about this area. And as for his crystal ball?
You know, they say that if you look too closely into a crystal ball, you eat glass.
You know, when I first moved here 15 years ago, all the stories I did were about the huge growth, real estate.
Right.
And then after a few years, all the stories were about the bubble bursting and the layoffs and the problems and the flipping.
Oh, sure.
So really a tale of two stories. But now things are looking good right now, and as we hear, the elements are not in place as they were 10 years ago for a burst.
Well, we've had some good news here on the Suncoast. I mean, we had talked about that study earlier this week. We're one of the places that people are moving to the most, so there seems to be a lot of good forward movement in this area.
Seems to be.
It's all good news.
Still ahead, first alert traffic, also John's forecast, and a look at one of the Suncoast's finest golf courses in this week's Dream 18. And
then coming up a little later in the hour, we're going to talk about a new trend with travel reward cards. Are they really worth it? We'll tell you. Stick around.
Should be a nice day. 52 degrees right now, warming up though, of course. Should see a lot of sunshine. There's a live shot of the Ringling Causeway, and you're watching Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
It's time to take a road trip.
Burn rubber for Birmingham, where you can feed your need for speed at Barber Motorsports Park and Museum. Now this gets my motor running. Meet Iron Men. Hey there, big guy. And make a date with your 9-iron. Feed the animals at the zoo and the birds. Then enjoy the award-winning restaurant scene. Alabama has a road trip with your name on it.
Which one you gonna take?
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
I owed the IRS $20,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
We saved our home and overcame the most powerful collection agency in the world.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 1-800-565-7740. That's 1-800-565-7740.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So there's a little bit of a bite in the air this morning. Certainly a little bit cooler than it was 24 hours ago, but certainly nothing like the previous cold days that we have had on the Suncoast, where we've seen temperatures near freezing. We're at 49 degrees right now, or will be at 49, the upper 40s to low 50s throughout the time period between now and about 9 o'clock this morning. As we head into dawn and the first few hours of sunlight, we warm into the mid-50s, and then by noon, we're at 62 degrees under mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies. 70 degrees by 3 p.m. Again, these high-level clouds kind of streaming on by, but no rain in the forecast today. And 62 degrees as we head into 7 p.m. Temperatures again after sunset falling off a little quicker than we normally might find ourselves because of the amount of moisture in the air. It's lacking, and so the dry air allows the heat to escape pretty quickly. Current conditions outside, we're at 52 degrees right now. We'll probably lose a few more degrees before dawn breaks. 36-degree dew point, again, very dry air in place. So if you heat that dry air, it feels probably a little uncomfortable in terms of the dryness in your home. But that number, that dew point number, will be changing over the next several days as we start to twist our winds. Northeast now at about 12. The winds are kind of breezy out there. That's helping to keep our temperatures up a little higher than they normally might be if the winds were still, the skies were fairly clear, and we had that kind of a dew point. Plus the cloud cover also helping to keep our temperatures up just a little bit. Futurecast shows that cloud cover kind of streaming on by through the morning hours, carrying us into about the lunchtime time frame, and we have that cloud cover around, giving the sky at times kind of a milky appearance, but certainly not producing any rainfall. And then as we head into the evening, again, the same sort of situation, those high, thin clouds kind of streaming on by. Eventually, those winds are going to shift to the due east and eventually even to the southeast by tomorrow, and the warm-up will start. That warm-up will carry us into mid-70s and eventually into upper 70s as we head into the weekend. So a real significant change in our temperatures occurring starting tomorrow. Then over the weekend, we'll watch an area of low pressure develop out in Gulf waters, bringing us a chance of rainfall, small one, on Saturday. But then on Sunday, a much larger chance as that moisture moves across the state and this trough of low pressure advances into our region. Titan radar right now showing everything very quiet across the Suncoast, but there's that stream of high-level clouds across the region caused by an active southern branch jet stream. Breezy conditions continue through the day. Coming in at about 15 to 20, so boaters watch for that. Small craft advisory up through the morning hours. Probably an exercise caution statement later this afternoon. Forecast looks like this today. Daytime high tops out about 70. Not too bad. Yes, there'll be some high-level clouds, but no rain. Tomorrow, 75. And then we're going to get pretty close to the 80-degree mark as we head into Saturday. A little bit more moisture, chance of rain. Good chance of rain on Sunday, a first alert day. Showers and maybe even a thunderstorm or two during the afternoon hours and continuing into the evening and nighttime hours. And then we kind of clear out on Monday and temperatures drop a little bit. But again, this cold front is not going to have significant Arctic air plummeting our temperatures. It'll just drop them down by about 5-6 degrees. Back to you.
All right, thanks, John. Let's take a look at your first alert traffic. It's actually starting to get a little congested out there. If you're heading into the city of Sarasota, you do have some slowdowns on there coming in from Ellington and Palmetto. There's a slowdown on 70 as well as 301, so you do have some spots out there to take a look at. And then if you're heading into Sarasota, into North County, you've got a little bit of a slowdown already started at Fruitville and University Parkway. And then in South County, those roads are looking pretty good if you're heading down south into Port Charlotte or Punta Gorda. Not too bad out there this morning. Well, it is time to make another stop on the Dream 18 as we take you to some of the best golf courses in the area.
And speaking of Charlotte County, today it is the Kingsgate Golf Club in Port Charlotte.
Well, welcome to another edition of Dream 18. We're in Port Charlotte at Kingsgate Golf Club, and joining me now is Mike Williamson. Mike, pleasure to meet you and be out here to the golf course.
Yes,
what do you got here?
We're at a little executive golf course here in Port Charlotte, 3,200 yards from the tips, par 3s and par 4s. We are open to the public. We do have memberships available. We have a restaurant that's open to the public.
Yeah, I noticed the clubhouse is really quite expansive there, too.
Large clubhouse. We also have a large banquet facility here. We can accommodate weddings, any type of receptions, birthday parties. Anything that you might need here.
So this hole, tell me a little bit about this hole we got.
All right, so we're on hole 13 at 289 all the way back. Narrow fairway, you got water on the right, you got OB on the left, but you can be rewarded with a birdie here because, again, 289, you got the option to hit a driver, or you can hit iron off the tee.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the driver just because, you know, what the heck, why not, right?
That's it.
Let's give it a shot.
Okay.
Thanks.
That'll play all day.
That'll be all right.
Yup. Right down the middle.
All right, Mike, let's go get him. So here we go, Mike. Not too bad, middle of fairway.
89 yards.
89 yards.
To the center of the green.
Yep.
Little
wind in the face.
Little wind in the face. As you can see, that flag is tucked
back
right on the corner.
Yeah.
So.
And it looks like it slopes.
Everything's going to kind of slope that way. I would say your best bet, aim for the center of the green, just get the ball on the dance floor.
Right, I think that's a good call. Let's go do it. Go, go! Shape,
We're in good shape.
Oh, yeah. That's a makeable par. That's a makeable par putt. All right.
Putt.
Got it, man. Hey, Mike, pleasure. Thanks a lot for taking us out here.
Thanks a lot for coming out.
Thanks for watching another round of Dream 18.
Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, we're going to tell you more about Apple's new update that will let you turn off that feature that is slowing down your older iPhones.
And next half hour, President Trump is going to Switzerland today for a World Economic Summit. But what next at home in the Russia investigation? Here's a peek outside from our tower camera. Nice shot there of the Rosemary District. 52 degrees right now. Should see a high in the upper 60s. Plenty of sunshine. You're watching Good Morning Suncoast.
This is an important announcement. If you're between 50 and 85 and worried about your loved ones, you can still get affordable life insurance for peace of mind.
My life insurance coverage is guaranteed, and I was not required to get a medical exam.
I had high blood pressure and diabetes, and I got my coverage with one telephone call. No exam necessary.
I'm a smoker, and I wanted to take care of my family. I called to get my life insurance and my affairs in order. I wanted to do the right thing.
Call Final Expense No Exam Insurance. Your rates are guaranteed and will never increase.
I called and learned that this insurance cannot be canceled even if you get sick or gain weight.
And there are no restrictions on how my beneficiaries use the money when I'm gone.
Approval was easy and the price was right. I wanted to do this for my children.
Call 800-738-9812. 800-738-9812.
When it comes to drinking, what do you think moderation is? The U.S. Dietary Guidelines define moderation as up to 1 drink a day for women and up to 2 drinks a day for men. So what's a drink? The guidelines say a drink equals 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, or a cocktail with 1.5 ounces of distilled spirits. Each contains the same amount of alcohol. Like to learn more? Visit drinkinmoderation.org.
Are you a soccer mom or dad? Regardless of their age or experience level, when your kids play soccer or any other sport, there's one person on the sideline who is key to help recognize and seek medical care for sports-related concussion. It's you. You need to know the signs and symptoms of concussion, and you need to act if you think your child has been injured. Remember, when in doubt, sit them out. To learn more, go to cdc.gov/concussion. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004.
Oh, I love this shot of the U.S. Capitol
gorgeous.
building as you awaken on this Thursday morning. Pretty shot there. President Trump, of course, nowhere near Washington. He is jetting to Switzerland for a World Economic Summit.
That's right, but still lots of work going on in that building.
He wants to tell his colleagues that America is open for business.
Yes, we are officially open for business again. Sure. And we are open to meeting you on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. You can find all of our Facebook pages and check out our new Instagram page as well. You can follow us there. Just check out mysuncoast.com. All right, welcome back. It is 5:24, and Apple's next operating system is going to be allowing users to opt out of a feature that has been slowing down our older iPhones.
ABC's Candace Gibson and Maggie Rulli have today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, changes for the iPhone. Apple's next operating system will allow users to turn off a feature that slows iPhones down.
It comes after Apple said they slowed older phones to prevent unexpected shutdowns due to aging batteries. Also in the update, a new health records feature that will store your medical information.
A dozen major hospitals are taking part. Apple says the information will be encrypted for privacy. The new iOS will be available this spring.
Samsung has sent out invitations for a major event when their next smartphone is expected to be unveiled.
Yeah, the invitation gives a major hint. It says, quote, the camera reimagined. The event takes place February 25th. And Kohler is bringing Alexa into bathrooms with a smart mirror.
Yeah, the mirror will have Amazon's virtual assistant built in. You can play music, check your email, much more, but I'm okay with it not in my bathroom.
Yeah, those are your Tech Bites.
Tech Bites, brought to you by Almond Breeze.
Before people invite something new into their homes, they want to know who you are and where you come from. We're Almond Breeze, and we only use California-grown Blue Diamond almonds in our almond milk, cared for by our family of almond growers. Maybe that's why so many people feel so good about inviting Almond Breeze into their homes. Blue Diamond Almond Breeze. The best almonds make the best almond milk. Official almond milk of the U.S. Ski and Snowboard Team.
Patrick woke up with back pain, but he has work to do, so he took a leave. If he'd taken Tylenol, he'd be stopping for more pills right now. Only Aleve has the strength to stop tough pain for up to 12 hours with just one pill. Aleve, all day strong.
This is food made to sit down for, slow down for, put the phone away and use a knife and fork for. And with Panera Catering, it's food worth sharing. Panera, food as it should be.
For the last decade, S&S Motorsports of Sarasota has built custom high-performance vehicles for demanding clients worldwide. They're now bringing their 50-plus years of combined build expertise to the parts business. SRQ Performance Parts is your one-stop shop for all your performance parts and accessories.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-685-6422, 800-685-6422.
That is a pretty good breakfast. You're not even eating.
Not hungry.
No? Why not? What's up?
Kath and I knew that Jenny'd been partying a bit. Found out she tried heroin.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
What to expect when you're expecting a teenager.
Today we're talking about how to wake up your teen, and this works literally every time.
Good kisses. Good kisses. You heard how loud
I heard. It wasn't you. Yeah. It was the...
Is that bacon?
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator. There was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs, stop the crimes.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining. Download the all-new ABC7 First Alert Weather app now.
Coming up on Good Morning Suncoast, President Trump says he is looking forward to talking with Special Counsel Robert Mueller. We'll tell you just how soon that meeting could be taking place.
Plus, a Kentucky high school remains closed today, 2 days after a mass shooting. This morning, we'll hear from a student who was inside the school.
And a new study on how comfortable people are these days with self-driving cars being on the road. Those stories and more right now on Good Morning Suncoast.
Live from the ABC7 studios. This is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
It is 5:30 on this beautiful Thursday morning, and we are taking a look at the White House.
Well, we can confirm now that it's not President Trump in the top right window there.
On his way to Switzerland.
The western half of the building, because he's not there, so he's not up watching TV right now.
No, not yet. He's already on.
But the lower lights are certainly on. Do you know how many floors the White House has? Looks like 2, right?
Yeah, it looks like, is it
6.
Wait, we're
underground.
Underground.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
6 floors.
Very interesting. That does make sense.
Well, fun fact.
Yeah.
Did you realize that, John Scalzi?
I did not. 4 of them are underground?
Well, no, it was 4. I think there's actually 3 up above ground and 3 below.
So 3 of the floors have no windows.
Yeah.
We're
Wouldn't like that.
all like, we're pondering, like, what's going on?
Well, I hope they have
rooms?
light therapy in there then. They need something.
Well, the bunker's down there.
Yeah, the bunker. That's way underground, too.
Yeah.
Interesting. We have across our region no need for a bunker this morning weather-wise. It looks pretty nice out there. We have temperatures across the region generally 51 in Bradenton, 50 in Wauchula, 53 in Venice, 52 in Sarasota. So nice temperatures around. Nothing on radar. It's clean as a bell. Day planner for today calls for temperatures this morning to hover in the low 40s to the upper 40s to the low 50s throughout the morning hours. And then as we head into the noontime hour with sunshine, we'll boost our temperature to 62, 70 by about 3 p.m. Weather highlights for today. Here's what we're looking at. A warm-up that's going to be kicking in. A weekend update with that rain shower activity coming our way. Plus, it's Severe Weather Awareness Day again on the Suncoast. And today we look at hurricanes a little later in this hour. We'll be back with that complete forecast for you in just a few.
All right, checking first alert traffic right now on Cortez. Some buildup there in the westbound lane about midway toward the beaches. Otherwise, pretty clear in Manatee County. Farther south, the university picking up there as you head toward Honore and toward the interstate and the mall there. Otherwise, pretty clear. South County, a couple buildups there on 41 in both directions as you go through Northport.
And topping our news this half hour, President Trump said he is looking forward to talking with Special Counsel Robert Mueller.
ABC's Kenneth Moten has the latest as the president touches down today in Switzerland.
President Trump left the White House bound for Switzerland a couple of hours before, appearing eager for a possible interview with Special Counsel Robert Mueller.
I'm looking forward to it, actually.
Yeah?
Do you have a date set? Here's the story, just so you understand. There's been no collusion whatsoever.
You would do it under oath,
correct? Oh, I would do it under oath.
Trump's personal lawyer quickly released a statement saying Mr. Trump was speaking hurriedly and that arrangements are still being worked out between Mueller's team and the president's lawyers. Mueller's interviews with top Trump administration officials raising questions about whether his team is zeroing in on possible obstruction of justice.
There's no obstruction whatsoever, and I'm looking forward to it.
Another headline from that impromptu West Wing Q&A, Trump open to granting citizenship to the Dreamers after a 10 to 12-year period.
We want to do a great job with DACA. I think it's our issue. I think it's a better issue for the Republicans and for the Democrats.
Trump, congressional Republicans and Democrats back to negotiating a deal to address the fate of nearly 800,000 undocumented immigrants brought to the U.S. as children. Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer pulled his offer to fully fund Trump's southern border wall in exchange for the Dreamers.
Schumer says the wall's off the table. Do you believe him?
No, I don't. I can tell you this, if you don't have a wall, you don't have DACA.
Trump set a March 5th deadline to end the DACA program, which protects the Dreamers from deportation. He now says he's open to extending the deadline if a deal is within sight. Kenneth Moten, ABC News, Washington.
And the publisher of Fire and Fury Inside the Trump White House says it sold more than 1.7 million copies of the book so far. Now, Fire and Fury is based on his unique access to the White House and interviews with top aides like Steve Bannon. Now, since its controversial release back on January the 5th, there has been a huge demand for the book, with some customers waiting weeks just for a hardcover copy. But books are now receiving fresh shipments, and sites like Amazon.com are no longer reporting those order delays.
We're learning new details about Tuesday's deadly school shooting in Kentucky. A student killed 2 classmates, injured 18 others, and at least 3 are in critical condition. More than 100 students were in a popular hangout spot inside the school when police said the gunman started shooting. Here is one of the students' accounts of what he went through.
There was a lot of blood everywhere, and then people were getting shoved down, and so I just, I took off. I started running. I was just scared for my life.
The student gunman has been charged with 2 counts of murder and 12 counts of first-degree assault. Still no word on a motive.
I just signed your death warrant. Now, those are the words a Michigan judge told disgraced former USA Gymnastics Dr. Larry Nassar yesterday during his sentencing. Nassar was sentenced to between 40 and 175 years in prison for sexual assault. This is in addition to the 60 years in federal prison he will already serve for child pornography, as well as whatever sentence he receives next week on 3 additional charges he pleaded guilty to of another county in Michigan.
And you survived the 60 years in federal court first, and then you started my 40 years? You've gone off the page here as to what I'm doing. My page only goes to 100 years. Sir, I'm giving you 175 years, which is 2,100 months.
Well, more than 150 victims told their stories of Nassar's abuse during his sentencing hearing. And then in another update, late last night, the president of Michigan State University resigned under pressure from the State House, who approved a resolution demanding it, citing the school mishandled or ignored past complaints about Nassar.
Happening in Florida, the Florida Senate has now joined the House, requiring members to undergo an hour of sexual harassment training before the start of each legislative session. 2 high-ranking senators have resigned since October. Democrat Jeff Clements of Lake Worth stepped down after admitting to an affair with a lobbyist, and Clearwater Republican Jack Latvala resigned after investigation found that he likely committed acts of sexual misconduct. A battle continues in Tallahassee over how much the state should spend on tourism marketing. An initial House budget proposal calls for spending $76 million on the tourism group called Visit Florida. Meantime, an initial Senate plan would provide $50 million. A recent state study found that Visit Florida has a more than $2 return on every dollar spent.
And it's a bill that could put all of us here in Florida in the same time zone while following daylight saving time throughout the year is moving ahead now at the state capitol. Now, this week, a Senate committee voted in favor of the plan to stop the semi-annual switch from standard to daylight saving time. The measure also seeks to put panhandle counties in the same time zone as the rest of the state. Now, right now, a section of the panhandle is in the central time zone while the rest of the state is in the eastern time zone.
The payoff is for especially families with young children is they don't have to deal with their kids having to deal with falling back and having trouble getting to school and having trouble to do all those things.
Well, the House version of the bill, which does not include changing the Panhandle's time zone, passed its first committee on Wednesday. Now, even if the proposal receives approval from the full legislature, the U.S. Department of Transportation and Congress would both have to act for changes to occur.
We're getting our first glimpse on the special election for the State House. Republican James Buchanan has a slight edge on Democrat Margaret Good. A poll by St. Pete Polls has Buchanan up 49 to 46%, a difference of 3.7% within the margin of error. Meantime, Libertarian Alan Foxall is at 1.6%, but Foxall has now set the Libertarian record for fundraising with over $19,000. The election is February 13th. The winner replaces Alex Miller, who resigned after a few months in her first term last year.
And happening now, a group of volunteers and community members are getting ready for a prayer breakfast this morning to help take stock in children.
Our Marla Spence is outside the Bradenton Area Convention Center with details of today's breakfast. Marla?
Yeah, that's right, guys. Organizers are currently getting ready for this year's Take Stock in Children Prayer Breakfast, where more than 500 people will flood the Bradenton Area Convention Center. This year's event is all to raise money for college scholarships for Manatee County students who are enrolled in the Take the Stock in Children program. Last year, the organization handed out 20 scholarships to students in the program who are between 6th to 8th grade, and some pretty impressive guests are expected to be at this year's event. The keynote speaker is NCAA basketball coach Mike Jarvis. This morning's event is all expected to start at 7:30 this morning. Coming up in the next half hour, we are going to be speaking to an organizer of this year's event. Reporting live in Manatee County, I'm Marla Spence for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Thanks, Marla. For the latest on this story, all of your breaking news, plus your up-to-the-minute first alert forecast, just head over to our app. You can find it in the App Store under WWSB or My Suncoast. Well, in consumer news, think you can get a free trip out of those travel rewards cards? Well, you are not the only one. According to credit card analysts at Value Penguin, since 2012, searches for travel reward cards in the first month of the year shoot up at least 50%. And this year, even more searches are being conducted. Now, those travel cards can come with some pretty glamorous seeming perks like free nights at hotels, credits for other flights, and access to those all-important VIP airport lounges. And just because you get the card does not mean you are going to get a free ride, though. The Chase Sapphire Reserve has an annual fee of about $450. The American Express Platinum yearly rate is $550. And there are some cards that do have no annual fee, like the Discover Miles card, but the perks may not be as attractive in that case. Now, if you're interested, just know your spending requirements before you sign up for some of those.
We might be seeing some new fare wars among the major carriers. United Airlines announced it expects to add flights and larger aircrafts to its network. It also plans to expand its basic economy fare to new routes. Basic economy passengers are not assigned seats until check-in and may not be allowed to store items on a plane's overhead bin. This year, however, United will allow those passengers to pre-select a seat for an additional cost. United is suggesting the moves are meant to compete with low-cost carriers like Spirit with more cheap seats of its own, and that could mean other major U.S. carriers like Delta and American may be forced to follow suit in offering lower fares.
And if you don't want to fly, why not ride in the back seat of a self-driving car? It could happen because a new study by AAA shows American drivers are becoming more comfortable with the idea of self-driving cars. Now, the study found that 63% of us are weary of riding in a self-driving car. That's down a lot from 78% this time last year. Now, millennial and male drivers like Ray appear to be the least nervous about the self-driving vehicle technology. Only half of the study participants in those groups said that they would be scared to ride in a self-driving car, and if they asked, I would be in that scared category.
I wouldn't do it.
I'm scared of this a little bit.
I'd rather walk.
Yeah. Just need to practice a little bit more, like maybe one more year to go. One more year.
Or 10.
Yeah, or 10.
Up next, first alert traffic, also weather and new research about CTE and concussions.
We'll tell you why a new study suggests hits and not just concussions are to blame. It's up next in Health Smart.
It's time to take a road trip.
Alabama's got 100 road trips. And if you love the sun, you're gonna love Mobile, where Mardi Gras is king, and the accommodations will make you feel like royalty. You can take a little drive, explore Dauphin Island, or explore the past. We're talking the USS Alabama. Check out these big guns. Alabama's got 100 road trips. Plan yours at alabama.travel.
Which one you gonna take?
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad, and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
You don't want to miss the annual Venice Orchid Show and Sale February 3rd and 4th at the Venice Community Center. It is the largest orchid show on Florida's West Coast with thousands of blooming orchids on display and for sale. You'll also find orchid growing supplies, artwork, jewelry, accessories, and free classes. Make plans now to attend the Venice Orchid Show and Sale February 3rd and 4th at the Venice Community Center. Go to vaos.org online for more details.
Who else has been taking your prescriptions? Keep your medicine and your family safe and secure. Mind your meds. To learn how we can help, visit the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids at drugfree.org.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7.
There's nothing better than getting more money in the hands of the American people so that they can spend it, because they can spend it a lot more wisely than the government can.
If anything, some of these new tax rates, given their income, they might actually end up paying more.
The GOP tax plan, is it making it easier for Suncoast's middle-class families to make ends meet? I'm Alan Cohn. Working families on the Suncoast, meet me at the trapezoid.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you. ABC 7 News at 7, weeknights. Meteorologist John Scalzi.
4th day of Severe Weather Awareness Week, and today we focus on hurricanes and flooding, and of course they go hand in hand oftentimes. What day of the week is what day of the hurricane season do you consider to be the peak of hurricane season? Remember, it runs from June 1st through November. Well, taking a look at the graph of hurricane activity, you'll notice that it peaks out at September 10th. But don't concentrate on that too much, because you'll notice there are 2 other peaks, one in June and July, and then the other late in the season, almost into November. Well, those 2 peaks are important to us here on the Suncoast, because at those 2 times of the year, that is the time that hurricanes that form in the Caribbean and the Gulf waters are favored. And of course, those 2 points affect us greatly. So we have to be concerned throughout the entire hurricane season, not just the peak. Now's the time to prepare. And if you go to our website, mysuncoast.com, there's a ton of information there that'll give you an idea of how to create a family plan and a hurricane kit and everything you need to prepare yourself. Because I know a lot of you are saying, oh, whoa, it's too early to talk about that. And I couldn't agree more. But you know what? Now is the time to prepare so that when hurricane season comes around, we don't get caught by surprise. And sometimes we've had hurricanes that, and tropical storms particularly, that pop up before hurricane season even starts. So we'll have to watch that carefully this year as well. Could be an active hurricane season. Temperatures in the upper 40s to low 50s throughout the morning hours, and as we head into the 9 o'clock hour, we'll start to see temperatures begin to rise up to around 70 degrees. 52 degrees currently with a dew point of 36. We have a northeast wind, breezy this morning, coming in at about 12. Small craft advisory, by the way, is in effect right now. Plus, we also have small craft advisory extended into the afternoon, so till about 3 o'clock. Thereafter, we may see it continued even further into the evening and nighttime hours. Certainly an exercise caution statement would be warranted if they don't extend it. So it will be a breezy time period over the next 24. Nothing on radar right now. Don't expect to see any, but high, thin clouds streaming across the state will be the name of the game throughout today. Probably tomorrow as well. That's okay. Sunshine will get through, and that will start to heat us up nicely as we head into the afternoon so that we'll rebound from these kind of cool morning lows. Across the region, trough low pressure down to the south of us, and of course the frontal boundary back to the west, which we are watching for the weekend. Right now, current computer models kind of tend to say that we could have a wet day on Sunday. In fact, we could see 1-inch rainfalls or better, and those rainfalls could start, pretty much as early as mid-morning on Sunday. So we'll watch it and keep you advised as that forecast fine-tunes over the next day or two. Northeast wind coming in at about 10 to 15. Then this evening, kind of surging a little bit at 15 to 20. The forecast looks like this for today. We'll have a daytime high topping out about 70, pretty nice. Tomorrow, even warmer at 75 as the heating trend kicks in. 20% chance of a shower on Saturday, but it's Sunday that we'll watch. That's a first alert weather day with an 80% chance of rain showers. Daytime high tops out at 77. But once that front moves through, we'll lower our daytime highs back into the 60s. Could even be mid 60s by the time we get to Tuesday, probably the coldest day of next week. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, John. Let's take a look outside to your first alert traffic. It is looking mostly good out there. Just a couple blips out there to be careful of if you're coming into Sarasota. You've got your normal slowdowns. Some typical slowdowns as well on University Parkway, as well as Fruitville Road as well, and another one on State Road 72 or Clark Road in that case. And then in South County, the roads are looking pretty good right there if you're heading down to Punta Gorda or Port Charlotte. And in this hour's Health Smart, a new study says the brain disease CTE is not just caused by concussions.
Reporter James Denan has details in today's Health Minute.
According to a recent study published in the journal Brain, it's not concussions that cause CTE, the Alzheimer's-like disease known as chronic traumatic encephalopathy.
This paper provides the best evidence to date that CTE is triggered not by concussion, but rather by hits to the head, irregardless of whether it results in concussion or not.
The study says CTE can start early and without any signs of a concussion.
The vast, overwhelming majority of hits are occurring and no one's paying attention.
CTE has most commonly been associated with former professional football players. But the study of 4 deceased athletes' brains, all of whom had died within a day to 4 months of receiving some sort of sport-related head injury and had a history of playing football, found changes to the brain that had already existed. For today's Health Minute, I'm James Dinan.
Up next, your day's top local news headlines. And speaking of concussions and football, a football tradition for one NFL superfan.
I love this story. We're going to hear from a member of the infamous Never Miss a Super Bowl Club. And we're going to tell you who he's picking to win in next weekend's big game. It's right after this.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. AndServices.com. AndServices.com.
SRQ Performance Parts provides parts and accessories from over 300 manufacturers, so you can get that new manifold, carburetor, gasket, bolt kit, or nitrous oxide system fast. We'll help you beat the competition. Call or visit SRQ Performance Parts online today for all your high-performance parts and advice.
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential. There's no cost and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter Hotline if you or a loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.
I witnessed him have 2 heart attacks in ICU. He went through seizures.
We'd much rather have Aaron like this than dead. A lot of parents don't have that luxury.
He can't talk. He can't walk. This is a condition Aaron will live with for the rest of his life because he abused prescription pills.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
My name is Julius. I have cerebral palsy. I work for Farmer Jeffy Weising Law Firm. I do a lot of data entry and scanning documents. I want to increase my working experience to make the company much better. At the end of the day, it's good to think of the day's work and to think about what I have accomplished.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, that's passion? Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think It Up.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, A-N-D, services.com.
Here are some of the top stories that we're following for you on the Suncoast today.
We're learning more about Tuesday's incident where sheriff deputies shot and killed a man in Manatee County. They say he repeatedly threatened he had a gun and reached toward his pocket.
Plus, President Trump says he is ready to sit down with special counsel Robert Mueller to reveal what he knows about the Russian meddling in the presidential election. That meeting could be just 2 weeks away.
And the assistant city manager of Northport is on leave after co-workers accused him of bullying. The mayor says he had heard complaints about Daniel Schultz and is glad workers felt safe to come forward.
All right, finally this hour, I'm so jealous of this man. He has said he has attended every single Super Bowl and he is getting ready for the big game next weekend. Don Charisma is part of the Never Miss a Super Bowl Club, one of just a few group of avid fans who have made every championship game since 1967. Now, he won't say if this one is going to be his last game, but trust me, he has got enough experience to know who to predict and how it's going to end. His prediction, he says the Patriots are going to beat the Eagles 31-24. I just want to be that man. I want to live that life right there.
That's an expensive hobby.
It is, very much so. We'll be back with another hour.
Stay with us.